Alright guys, hi. This is Sam here, anti-fitness personal trainer. Today I just want to go over a real simple way of how to set up a program for yourself if your goal is to build muscle, okay? Not necessarily also strength, but primarily to build bigger muscles, biceps, whatever the heck you're looking for. So, I'm not going to talk about exercise selection. I'm just going to talk about how to simply put together a program for you to track your progress so you get bigger muscles, so you get some more hypertrophy. So, of course, nutrition is very important for that. I'm not going to touch on all that today. I'm just going to touch on programming and how to do a simple program. First, before I talk about a Mezzo Cycle and what all that is, the number one thing also for building muscle or strength or anything is progressive overload. So all progressive overload is you're lifting heavier weights session to session or whenever you're able to. Okay, so if you set up this program and you're only doing 135-pound squats, but you keep repeating the cycle, you never increase that weight, you're not going to get stronger or build bigger muscles. So make sure you can increase the weight where you can. Make sure your form is still good. Make sure you're in the correct rep range that you're training in for yourself, and all that. So make sure that's one of the top things is progressive overload. So make sure you can add more weight to the bar or whatever you're lifting whenever you can. So, but next to that, next to progressive overload, before I touch on this, one more thing. As far as rep ranges for hypertrophy or for building muscle, there is no specific rep range. There's just a more ideal rep range to build muscle. Okay, you can build muscle in sets of 3 to 5. You can build muscle in sets of 6 to 8, 8 to 10, 10 to 12. One thing that I will say, as far as rep ranges do go, there is a threshold of how high of reps you can do to build muscle in a sense. You don't want to be doing like 50 rep sets of curls or something like that. That's why you can't just curl a pencil or a marker all day and get big biceps. So I think a max, I would say, just for the sake of this video, probably 15 reps per set is where I would stop, unless you incorporate things like myo reps or something like that, or blood flow restriction training. But as far as just regular straight sets of anywhere from 6 to 15, I'll be more specific. I like 8 to 10 is my range that I kind of like. But okay, so we'll talk about this board I have here. So first thing, a Mezzo Cycle, all that means is certain weeks. Okay, this whole thing, like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. This whole thing is a Mezzo Cycle. Okay, a microcycle is 1 week. Okay, and then next week is a microcycle 2, and then makes up a whole Mezzo Cycle. So, just an easy explanation here to make it simple for you guys. Say you're doing reps of 8 to 10, 3 days per week. Okay, full body routine, however you have your program set up. Okay, so you're doing 8 to 10 reps. Week 1, you do 2 sets of 8 to 10. Okay. Next week, you do 3 sets, 8 to 10. Next week, you do 4 sets of 8 to 10. Next week, you do 5 sets of 8 to 10. Okay, this would be a pretty high, 5 sets of 8 to 10 is a lot of reps. And then this week 5 is a deload. So I'm going to put deload. And then after week 5, you come back to the beginning of the Mezzo Cycle and you start over again. And during this whole time, your volume is going up during the Mezzo Cycle, during these weeks, because you are doing more sets. But like I said before, increase the weight when you can. Okay? But if going from 2 sets to 3 sets is enough for you, squatting, just for example, 135 pounds you're squatting. And if you do 2 sets of 10 that week and it felt pretty good, you thought it was pretty easy, maybe increase the weight to 145 or 140. Now if you're struggling and you barely got maybe 8 reps on these 2 sets at 135, I would definitely stick with the 135 for the 3 sets. Feel comfortable moving the weight up. Don't let moving the weight up sacrifice the amount of sets and the rep range that you're doing. So, so that pretty much is how I would set up a program. So increase the weight when you can, and increase the sets over the Mezzo Cycle, then repeat. The point of a deload is to so you don't just go into infinity for sets. Helps you reset kind of your body, your joints a little bit. And one thing with the deload, you're still lifting the weight that you're doing at week 5. Okay, so but you're just decreasing the sets. You can either do 2 or 3 sets. I just put 3 here. You can either 2 or 3 is fine, but keep the intensity, the amount of weight you're doing, the same. One thing I will add before I close this, if you do want to set up another type of rep scheme during the week, it's also a possibility. So if you're doing like sets of 8 to 10 on Mondays and Fridays, but Wednesdays you're doing a heavy day for a strength day, maybe you're doing like 4 to 6 reps, you can set up the same way. It's more of like this would be more of like a daily undulating periodization kind of setup. So like this would be Mondays and Fridays, and this would be Wednesdays. Okay, but your goal is hypertrophy, so you're gonna be doing more days in the 8 to 10 range to get sufficient amount of volume in. So, but you could do it both ways, guys. You set up any of this infinite, whatever. A lot of ways to set up a program. This is just a way so you know you progress, because hypertrophy and building muscle is dependent on more volume over time, but also, of course, heavier weights, but more volume, which this does, increasing the sets with the same rep range, increases the volume over weeks. So hopefully that made some sense, guys. If you have any questions, talk to me in the gym or leave a comment on this video, or you can just message me. I'll be more than happy to help you out. All right, guys. Talk to you soon.